Okay, so today's the 3rd of August 2020, and here's another video of the Hard Sudoku on New York Times puzzle section. Let's jump right in and do some pencil markings. So I actually had to go at this first thing in the morning at about 7 o'clock when I literally just woke up, and I got stuck quite quickly. And I really regret it, kind of not having breakfast first. Not that I've had breakfast right now, but I should really do Sudokus when I'm a bit more awake and alert. So rather than showing the recording of that session, which I think I spent, 17 minutes on it before, after being stuck for a fair while, I just think I'll actually figure out the solve first, and then record this, which will hopefully be a bit more succinct despite the waffling that I've already done. I've managed to place a 6 from these two. These patterns are always quite nice, the checker patterns, because in fact now that I've placed a 6, the 5 blocks these two cells, and I'll probably find other patterns as well. So the 7 blocks these two cells, so the 7's up there, the 3 blocks these. So when you see a checker pattern, sometimes you get a solve right in the middle, and then you find, the setter usually sets something interesting where you find pairs along the way. So we're missing 2s here, but the 2s are beyond access to that square, so we can't really proceed further. So I was on, where was I? I was on 6 before, but actually I just penciled in 5, so let's add 5. So that results in 3. So I was on 6s before, wasn't I? So let's resume with the 6s to see if I find anything else. No. Between waking up and failing to do this Sudoku and then trying again, I did manage to eventually spot the pattern of today. I have to say it's a really difficult Sudoku for people at my level. I think I'll call myself just kind of like intermediate in my Sudoku skills, because I know really basic techniques like the X-wing, and on a rare occasion I can see, like, I think they're either called like bend triples or whatever, and maybe I think, is it skyscraper is another one, jellyfish, but I rarely spot those basically. But those kind of spots typically, at least for me, requires pencil marking in everything, and it's just not what I like to do, and I'm not quite as good as cracking the cryptic at finding them whilst using Snyder notations. So I tend to find my own ways, and being as New York Times don't tend to be that hard. I'm hoping that over time I will find I'm able to continue to solve all the hard puzzles. So I think, I think this is where I got stuck this morning, and where I had to just like take a break and then come back. So the strategy when I get stuck, so I've gone through the Snyder notations by just going through the digits 1 to 9, where I only pencil mark in numbers in pairs within the squares being a block of 9 cells. I tend to focus on the weak numbers first, because I think it's harder to find a weak number on the board. If you can find a weak number, basic Snyder notations should grant you visibility of it. But by using the weak numbers, in this case a 4, sometimes it's possible to find other digits basically. But if I remember correctly, I did focus on a 4, and there's not a lot you can do. There's nothing we can do within the square because I know 2s can recite in any of these. If I go horizontally, I'm looking for 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. That's a lot of numbers. And I think what I would do is with a weak number on a row, I'll probably pair it with a column. So the fact that there's already 5 here, if I can't see any numbers at all from 1 to 9, for instance, I can't see a 1, that means there's at least 2 possibilities, 2 candidates in this cell. So I'm not going to spot any naked singles on this cell basically. So let's look for 1s in the other cells. No, 1, 2. 2 is a weak number. In fact, 1 is quite weak as well. We've only got 2 1s. 2s we've only got 2 as well. 3 we've got a few, but not anything that interacts with this row. I'm definitely not going to look down this column because 4 is literally the only digit here. So I'm not getting anything there. Let's look down this column instead. Because basically I've got at least 1 and 3 missing in these 2 cells. I've got at least 1 and 5. What about this cell? 1, 3, I can't see a 3, so that's at least a 1 and 3, so not much we can do about it. So when I can't do anything with the weak number, let's, to be fair, I should have done this earlier, look at the rows and columns that are mostly populated. So I've got, and I'm probably going to focus on this square first because I know 1 and 2 are weak, although actually 1 and 5 are weak as well, so these 2 cells are probably more useful. So I'm looking for 2, 5 and 2, 4 and 5, so all weak numbers. And I can quickly see there's nothing on the rows or the squares that would grant me a solve. So that's when I move on to the next step, and this is taking it to quite the extreme now, but basically I'm going to look at 1, 2 and 5, 1, 2, 4 and 5 as all as weak numbers and see where they interact. So for instance, this interacts with 1, 2 and 5, doesn't do anything with 4. I already know I've played with 4s, so if I could have spotted something, I would have spotted it by now basically. So I'm going to ignore the 4s and focus on the 1, 2 and 5s. So 1, 2 and 5, so this could be a 4, but it can also be a 9, because I can see 1, 2, 3, I can't see a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so this could be 4, 9. So 1, 2 and 5, so that interacts with 1, 2 and 5, but it's already filled in. 1, 2, 5, so I've got 5 down here. 1, 2, this interacts with 1, 2 and 5 as well, but I've already got 7 in there, and I know it doesn't see 4, so that's no use. So this interacts 1, 5 and 2 as well, and this one looks a lot healthier because I can see the 9 and the 6, and there are a lot of numbers on this row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So that gives us a 4. That's a naked single. So I don't know how good this strategy is to look for naked singles. It's what I've been using, and to be honest, I've been quite slow. I'm sure there are other ways when you're more experienced. So for instance, like this column is quite populated in the first place, so I should probably have, there have been 5 numbers on there before, so really I should have been looking at the rows and columns with 5 numbers as well. That could be another logical next step. But on top of that, I like to focus on the weak numbers as well too. see if I can find other digits, and in this case I managed to find myself a 4. So that creates a column with 3 remaining cells, and I'm looking for 1, 5 and 7. So I can't see a 1 or 7 on this row or this square. No 1 or 7, no 1 or 7, so I can't do anything in this column yet either. And the next step was basically continuing on this pattern of 1, 2 and 5 still interacts with these 2 cells, because I've got 2 and 5 sitting in the same square, so that's really useful. And the same can't be applied anywhere else where the 1, 2 and 5s are in separate squares, where I have to look for like lines and columns. But since I've got 2 interacting, that means I've got 1 seeing these 2 squares as well, and I've got the 4 now as well, which means all 4 of the weak digits sees these 2 squares. So let's see, I'm looking for, so if I look at this row, 1, 4, so I've got 1, 2, 5 and 4, so this cell is also useful as well. I wish I could highlight these squares, but I think there may be a triple in these 3 cells, and see if I can do anything with it. So, there's a lot of numbers going on here. I'm going to focus on the row because I've got 4 digits as to the square where I've only got 3 digits, and since all 3 of these squares or 3 cells are on this row, let's see, I'm looking for 2. 2 can be in these 2 cells, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 can be in these 2. So is that a pair? Yeah, that's a 2, 5 pair, isn't it? So 2 and 5, 2 and 5. Yeah, 2, 5, 2, 5. So I've got myself a pair. So that should be a triple. Okay, so more than that, if that's a pair and I've got an 8 here, then these 2 must be 8. So I'm looking for 6, 9 and 8. I've got 6 here, seizing this cell, which means that has to be a 9 then, because I've got 2, 5 and I've got 6 and 8, so that's a 9, which means that can't be a 9, and that gives me a 6, 8 pair. And so normally I don't like to leave these notations in these squares, because I should really populate all the 2s and the 5s. In fact, I wonder if I should delete the 5, just to avoid confusing myself later on, and 2 and 5. I've already notated a 2, but I've already got a 6, 8 pair, so why don't I see what I can do in this cell? So that's 3, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so these can all be 7s. So let's see, 2, 5. Can I do anything on here? This is 1, 7 and 5. No. So maybe I should go, actually I should do something with the 9 that I populated. Can the 9, so the 9 deduced that, which means I've got 9s down here. But I've got 9s there, so these, actually that already sees that 9, so that's all the 9s either pencil marked in or filled in general. I have a feeling I actually missed the pencil markings for these 2 9s already. Yeah, I think oh no. Yeah, I was going to say I could have spotted at least one of the 9s, but 9 would have been locked in these cells originally, leaving me a 9 in this column. So now that I've done what I can, I think I'm going to do another round of Snyder notation just around the board. One. I mean, I call it Snyder notations, but I think the general notation type is Snyder notation. My strategy is go around the board from 1 to 9 and see if I can do anything, eliminate cells basically. So 3 3 3, I'm still not getting a lot. 3 4 4 4 4 5 5 6. Maybe worth me looking. No, yeah, maybe worth looking at this column. No, actually, no, that won't give me anything yet. Okay, so 6s are here, but I've already got a 6-8 pair, so that can't be a 6, which means that's a 6, which means 6 has to be here as well, because that 6 sees that cell, so that's a 2-6 pair, and that creates a 2 and a 9, and that resolves all the 9s. So does that give me another 6 as well? Yes, it does. So 6 6. All the 6s are getting resolves now. So 6s are all done, and that leaves me an 8 here because of that 8 blocking that cell. So I've got 8 here, and I think that's all the 8s, either pencil marked in or actually populated, leaving one cell which is a 5, I think. Yep, 5 5. So that's a 5. Anything else with the 5s? 5s are here. 5 5. 5 can't go in either of these two cells, so it has to be here, which gives me another 5. Feel quite close to solving all the, oh no, I've got 2 pairs of 5s there. So 5, I've done 6, haven't I? So have I got anything on 7? 7 7 7 7 is here. No. 6 I've done. So what about 8s? 8s I've already done all the markings, so I think I'll go back to 1s. 1s are there. 2 1. So that's a 1, which means that's a 1. These should be resolvable then. Yep, 3 and 7. So that 3 doesn't do anything for me just yet. What about a 7? 7. So let's see, 7 7. No, still not getting. Oh, hang on, I've got a pair there. So this is 1. This is 4 and what the hell? 4 and 4 and 2. So that resolves, which means 4 is here, 7 is here, 3 is there, and 3s are there. This is 1 3 and 1 3 and 1 3 and 4. So that's a 4, which means that's a 4. So 3s go there, and I'm missing a 1 here. So I've got 1 3 pair. So these must be a triple. So 5 7 and 2. So that's 2 7 pair, which means 5 is in the middle. So that can't be 5 anymore. Now all the 5s are done, and I've got a single digit. That's a 9. No, 1 2 3. No, that's a 1 actually, which means 1 is here. 1 8 and 3 resolved. 3 and 1 there. 1 1. So 1 is there. 1 2 4. 1 2 3 4 7 8 and oh god, I'm being blind again. 7 8. No. 2 7 8. There we go. 2 7 and 8. I can't see. Yeah. Oh, that's season 8. So it could be 2 or 7. Damn it. Let's move on. Actually. So 3 7 and 2. Don't see any. Oh, I've got 2 up there. So that's 2 3 and 7. So that leaves me a 1 and 4. So that has to be a 3. So that should be all 3 solved. That 2 means that's a 2. So this is 8 and 7. So I've already got an 8 over here. So that's 8 and 7. Got a pair of 7s there. This has to be 1 2. So that resolves to 2 and 7. That resolves that 7. 4 and 1s are resolved, so that's a 4. And that's today's hard Sudoku, which on hindsight is really hard to like spot, or the to even start with the naked singles. It was quite difficult to find them, and then by using a combination of 4 sets of weak numbers, you can actually find yourself hidden pairs, and yeah, it's interesting. I was quite pleased to be able to spot that pattern again, but it took a very long time. I mean, this video is still probably about 20 minutes long, so by no means an easy solve, but hopefully once you unlock that really complicated weak number interactions, you'll be able to solve this. So, bye!